Last time on Turkey Sphere X, Turkey Tom was making a video about anime.
Soko no kabe no suate, ikutsu kamakuma data.
The first issue I have with anime is the rather lazy animation tricks that lots of these shows and movies employ to save time and money.
There are a whole bunch of animation tricks I've noticed these shows use to try and get around doing any actual animation to save budget and time.
Some examples I've noticed are having some pictures with just a few pans and zooms when a character is supposed to be in action to imply movement.
When someone gets attacked, it cuts to 2 or 3 different stills that pan to imply a wide variation of moves.
Things like having just a few frames move when the character is talking, so it looks like their jaw is just opening and closing with no real animation, and doing that little shimmer in the eye so people don't forget it's supposed to be animated.
Only animating the mouth and eyes because redrawing the face takes too much time because of the immense detail.
Having the mouth move in a loop during a shot and not even bothering to sync up the audio so the shot looks lazily done and makes it really hard to focus on the actual subject of what they're talking about because of how glaringly obvious it is that the mouth has no relation to what they're saying.
Using the same mouth movement for an entire shot, sometimes not even bothering to sync the audio with what they're saying to save time.
And while this doesn't really fall into the category of the animation itself, the shots where the characters are constantly gasping at each other with reaction shots.
Oh, but the thing that gets to me most, and it's not really to do with the animation specifically, but it does fill time, is when there's a reaction shot of a character who does nothing but grunt or go, huh?
But one thing I have noticed while watching various anime in my time is that there are various character archetypes.
There, now that that's out the way, here's a bunch of stupid shit that anime does that drives me crazy. Character archetypes.
For example, the main character of the show is usually a hot-headed boy who doesn't really know his full potential and is ready to fight for the good of justice and his people or something like that.
For example, is there a reason that a large portion of anime protagonists have to be a hot-headed boy who is pretty good at fighting, or at least eventually learns to become a great fighter, who will flip their shit when they see any type of crime or injustice?
There's always a quiet, reserved character who nobody really knows much about, but is actually more powerful than the rest of the characters around, and when it's time to fight, they show their true strength.
Or what about that classic backup character that is better than everyone in terms of their skills, but keeps themselves reserved and only actively does anything when a cool action scene is needed, or...
Then there's the extra third wheel character. Most likely they're not as good or skilled at fighting as the main character is, but we come to enjoy seeing them around because of how charming or goofy their antics are.
Let us not forget about that third wheel sort of character, you know, the one that's not quite as skilled or cool as the other character,